Hey guys, we are back working on the Chevette today. We've got 2 weeks until Lemons.
We got all the bushings out of this lower control arm just using the drill. So we got all the bushings in on this control arm. I'm about to start putting it back in the car. And while I'm doing that, Renee is going ham trying to get these bushings out of the other side control arm. I have this side with the new control arm put together with all the new bushings in it. Everything still needs to be tightened, but we're there. We also, once we get all this done, we have new bushings for the sway bar as well. We'll see if we put those in. I mean, we'll probably want a bigger sway bar anyways. So Renee has been drilling like a madman, getting the bushings out of these sway bar links. And while she was doing that, I went and got the rest of the intake piping mocked up. So Renee already got the hot side of the turbo, hot side of the intake piping up. And so that goes down through here into the intercooler. And then the red stuff goes right around there into the intake manifold. I got the intake air temp sensor on this old pipe. So I'm going to pull that out, take the bung off. It's just JB welded on, so we're just going to torch it off. And then JB weld it back onto this pipe right here. So the alternator bracket down below is now bolted on. And then what I did is I cut out a piece of metal. This is going to be the tensioner bracket for the alternator. So we've got the slot here and then that hole. And how this is going to work out is there is a bolt that threads into the alternator right here. And then, so that's where the slot, we're going to have the bolt going through the slot on this piece. And then this hole is going to bolt into that Allen bolt right here. This bolt is, or this plate is going to bolt through to that spot, and then the other one, the slot will go onto here, and so that'll provide us the actual way to hold it in place once it is tensioned. You can just see now exactly how this alternator, it can slide up and down, and then once you get it where you want it with the belt tension and everything, you just tighten this nut or this bolt right here. I'll hold it in place. Okay, so now the end at least is cleaned off pretty well. I'm going to just clean the rest of it off with the belt sander. I wanted to get that part nice and round so that when I drill a hole in the intake piping, it seats nicely. Okay, well, Renee's back here, crawling under a car.
My last bolt.
What do we got going on here?
Magic.
Magic. It's really can't see anything right now with.
Move my phone.
Yeah. So she is installing the sway bar now that it's got all the nice new bushings and everything on it. And with that, the rear end is basically done.
Yep.
It's badass right there.
It's fucking sweet.
So, I mean, really, the rear end doesn't really need to be touched until it's time for an alignment. Yeah, that's dope. One more thing off the list.
Woohoo! Sway bar's done.
Let's watch as she tries to crawl up out of the garage.
Like a pro. Alright guys, so we are on front upper control arm number 2. Thank you. Back to trying to light it on fire and using our little can of the wrench ease stuff. I just sawzalled the end of that off, so
Want to jiggle it real quick?
yeah. So that end is gonna come out just fine because I just cut it off. and we're just trying to get the rest of the bolt to spin so we can get this off.
Yay.
Got our bolt spinning, guys. This one took so much less time than the other side.
All right.
Victory.
So we finally got it out. We had to cut the bolt a couple times. We used a lot of torch action. You can see it was really rusted in there. Took a lot of heat, took a lot of time.
We have
It's out.
hotboxed the entire garage.
Oh yeah, no, the garage is quite hazy with burning rubber. It's
Burning rubber smell. It's delicious.
healthy, yeah.
Delicious. It's wonderful.
So that's done now, finally. So once we get the new control arms, those can just bolt right in. And that's one thing scratched off of our paper plate to-do list, which is,
Where is it? It's right here.
beautiful.
Boom. We're like, that's 4.
I mean, there's more other,
That's
there's other
7
stuff that
left.
needs to be done there too. That's not on the list,
Well,
but
we got the big stuff done. This
Yeah.
is like, this is big stuff.
we're getting closer. Progress. Car running tomorrow.
I need to go outside.
Hey guys, I am coming to you live from in the engine bay of the car. I am in the middle of doing some wiring here. I am getting the all the coil unplugged coils, getting all the wires from that figured out. I'm gonna make this nice little harness for it.
So I just finished on the exhaust manifold here. It has a gasket now, and that guy's good to go. And we are just about to start doing the return line on the turbo, and we have some braided PVC. That's going to be our return line, and that's our next project right now. So Hank's still finishing up the wiring here, chilling out in the engine bay. And we have finished our return line down here. That is super dark and hard to see. But our return line is over here. Our turbo is mocked up. And we also have our oil feed line hooked up.
Hot side is pretty much all done now. We have to go from the turbo to the rest of the exhaust. We have to figure that out. But other than that, we're pretty good. Intake piping is all put in right now. We got to clamp the cold side intake piping. The hot side is already clamped. The intake manifold is on now. All the wiring harness is all hooked up to the car. We're basically ready to put oil in it and start it. We're going to call it a night though because we're tired and it's been a long day.
Hey guys, so Henry worked on the Chevette all weekend while I went racing down at Pikes Peak International Raceway. And he didn't get to film a lot of what he did because he was super busy. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick recap of what he did. So the exhaust is now finished. In the car, Henry got all of this TIG welded over the weekend, and it's clamped together, so our exhaust is complete. We also have our new customized adjustable upper control arms here in the front, and these do not have shock mounts on them, so Henry's next step is to fab some sort of mount to attach the shock to. The biggest thing Henry got done this weekend was get the transmission in and actually bolt it to the engine. And this took a lot of cutting out of the transmission tunnel because this transmission is just so much bigger than the last one. So all of this that was cut out of the transmission tunnel is going to have to be sealed back up because per Lemon's rules, you cannot have any holes in the floor of your car. So all of that's going to have to be patched back up. Henry also got the fire suppression system in. So this is something that is new to the 24 Hours of Lemons rules. This was super easy to install. So it has 2 releases, one here and one up on the roof of the car here. And that is just for in case of emergency, obviously, but that got put in the car as well. So pretty big, important, busy weekend for Henry. Got a lot done. We have 2 weeks now until Lemons, and there's still a ton that has to get done. So definitely stay updated. We're going to do some more videos before we go to Lemons and film the whole weekend. So stay updated to see what's next for the boosted Chevette. Peace out, guys.